So it's been probably coming up to 3 years since we actually met in Bali in 2023 in around May, I believe. Is that correct? From when you remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's April now, so it's actually coming up to 3 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. We met in Bali at a dinner, and I think I didn't saw you for like two years almost, maybe like 1.5,
Probably a
maybe.
year and a half. Yeah.
And then Cape Town last year,
Yeah.
we saw each other. We spent more time.
So I did a mastermind at your place in Cape Town. That was how it started.
Clients,
Yeah.
yes.
And then you were actually quite busy, so you came to little bits of that. But I think you were already like on your growth journey. You were already crushing it. But I think it was a lot of it was just through the interaction and the conversations. I feel like with you. One thing I noticed with you is that you were able to open up in those conversations more so, and I could tell that even before you said it that it wasn't something that you would usually do. Why do you think you were able to open up about things?
I think because I trusted you. So like, I feel like I have the opportunity to open myself up to people that I trust, and based on everything that happened in my life, it's not always been easy to trust people. But you gave me that safety, and I think especially if you work with someone, like it's very important that someone can give you that safety where you can open up. Because I feel like if you can open up, you can slowly start solving internal problems that have been inside of you for like years, or decades.
I think about it like this: with what you do in your business, you solve people's bottlenecks in their business, you help them grow. And I think I do the exact same thing, just the internal bottlenecks is what I
Correct.
call them, like the unseen ones. What do you think has been one of the biggest internal changes or beliefs that you've had over the last year and a half?
I think specifically we were in Dubai together, right? I stayed at your place for like a week,
Yeah.
1.5 week, and that was for example like a point about pricing specifically, right? That was an external thing. Internally, how that changed is like there are just like no limits, and the only limits you put into your own mind is what makes it reality for yourself. So like what I really like is when you create that pattern of recognition of knowing that there are no limits and that you can do anything also in any amount of time, right? Because for me, timing is important. You will be able to have a thought coming up in your mind and you'll know that you can solve it in a matter of like days or weeks.
So if we zoom into that moment, because I think that's a nice one where you can look at an internal belief and an external change. Your what was your in? So you wanted to basically it was around charging more and then for a new offer. Is that fair?
Correct. It was about specifically charging more.
Charging more.
And
So
yeah, so the external was I didn't thought I had the ability to charge a lot more. Even though I knew I was worth it, I thought, for example, the market would cap me into what's reasonable, what's important. And because that happens, right? And because you have that fear internally, you don't take any action on it because you genuinely believe that it's impossible.
what's so cool is, and you can correct me if this is off, but from what I've observed, we're at the mastermind right now, and there's two guys here who paid you for that one-on-one at that higher price. I think it was 60 grand. Did they come from that time, like after that time?
Yes.
So here's what's interesting is that they're now here going through a crazy transformation, but then they're also adding so much value to everyone else that is here. And that would not have happened if you didn't just make that one change and
Correct.
just put it out there.
It's nice that like the biggest changes, and I think like you know me very well and I know you very well, it's been like the biggest changes are in the smallest things, right? Like you see these big changes happen in the smallest things, even though in your own mind it's like something huge, right?
Yes.
And because of that factor, it's like certain things are so simple to change, and I think a lot of people also have the belief, based on their internal situation, because they've been struggling with something for such a long time, they can just change that whole thing in a matter of days or weeks, right? Whether that's any trauma from the past, whether that's any experience, whether that's any fear, or whatever that could be. And that was same, for example, with me within that situation, right? And what I really like is the fact that you can just change it quick. It doesn't have to take long. Like, you decide how long it takes, right? And it's also the allowance part of like, because I can open myself up to you, I can show the reality of things that are happening fully, right? An open book. And because that happens, it's easier to make the right decision on what needs to happen. And especially from your perspective and your experience, it's good to have that insight of knowing then what to do. And I take action.
Yeah, I remember I left to the US, and then like 2 days later, you're like, just signed a 60K client, gonna sign another one and another one within like literally like 48 hours after that. And I think that's the thing, right? It's, you knew exactly what to do, you knew how to do it, that you had all the skill set to do it, obviously, right? But it was just in your mind, when it seems big and it seems like it's really hard, it's just because there is some kind of fear that is making it seem that way. But when you can unpack it and basically shine a light on it and realize, because I remember like the first thing you said was, that would be impossible, right, to do. And it's just, language is the gateway into the subconscious. So if the belief is it's impossible, it's only impossible until it's not impossible, right? And then I think for you, you've done a lot of things. I would argue you've done many more things that are much more impossible in your life than just that, if you think about your history and the things that you've been able to do. And so I guess if you take that, well, on that specific belief shift, how do you then apply that moving forward? Like, how does that actually then affect you as a person moving forward in your life?
So I think there are two things to it, right? Like, it's the part of understanding, and not only understanding, because sometimes I can take actions on things that I unconsciously know, but that I'm not consciously aware about. And that is a great feeling, because sometimes you just feel like you're on the right track without actually in that knowing what you're doing. And that's more powerful than theoretically understanding what you're doing without feeling like it's going to work out. And these two parts are, one is level of awareness, right? Like, when you give me that level of awareness, like I like the fact sometimes that we have great conversations, right? Whether it's about your business or whether it's about my business, it's just, we have a chat about a situation where if I have a problem, we can chat about it. If you have a problem, we can chat about it, like, whatever. And the beauty about it is, like, you can't help anybody solve their problems, but you can help them become aware about their own problems. And that's the first touch point, right? Because when you're aware about it, you can change something. And that's really what happened when we were together, specifically about that.
Why do you think most people don't become aware?
Because they don't understand the true intention of why they would want to grow, or they don't care enough. It's like they don't care enough. Yeah, I think that's like there are two very important reasons for people, and they don't truly understand what they want to achieve. That's why when you understand the destination where you want to get to, we talked about this, right? Like, you have levels in business. The more money you make, the goals change along the way, right? Meaning, sometimes if you operate out of fear or you're in a survival state, you need money. But when you have money, that end goal, that end destination stops. So if you then not have any other thing clear in your mind of what could be a possibility of things you want to achieve with a true reason behind it, it's sometimes very hard to become aware about new things or willing to learn new things, even though you're consciously aware about like the external things, right?
I want to go back to Cape Town when we did that hypnosis at a basically a party at yours, and it was very spur of the moment. I think at that point you still were like, I don't think this is even real, but for some reason I'll just try it. I think you had enough to try it, and I would love you to go through your like honest thought process at that point. Like I really want to know what you actually saw, and then what you actually experienced after that.
I think it was, I don't know why, but it was, I think I remember the day, Wednesday, Tuesday. You were at our house, Cape Town,
Yes,
right? With all the people, everyone.
that was it.
And it was like late as well,
Yeah.
like 11 p.m., 12 at night. And we had a conversation. We chatted with the whole, obviously, like hypnosis is like an interesting topic to talk about, right? Because like, oh, can you hypnotize people, this and that. And we spent a little bit more time together back then. It was late in the evening, and the topic hypnosis came up, right? And you saw everybody's responses and reactions of like, "Ooh, what's going on here? Like, what is this? Like, how does that work? Like, can you do that on me? This and that." And then ultimately, you hypnotized me at that point, I remember. And nothing happened. I was like, what is this? Like, I don't feel anything. Nothing is going on. It's just like, I'm very aware, so I'm not like, oh, this doesn't work. I'm just like, I don't feel anything. It doesn't do anything. And that was for like 30 minutes, an hour, 1.5 hours. Like nothing happened, right? And in that moment, I'm not sure if you hypnotized a lot of other people, or a couple other people as well. I think you did. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But so like it's interesting to see the way people react on it in an instant moment, right? Because some people were like, "Whoa!" Some people were like, "Nothing happened." Some people, but the fun fact is that that's the moment like that the process starts without people even realizing it. And I do believe that if you open yourself up to something and you believe in something, even though you don't agree with everything, it still processes it internally, right? When you fully close yourself, it won't, most likely something will still process, but you won't feel it, or it won't work as well, or you know what I mean. And it's like 1 a.m. or something. I was like, nothing is going on, nothing is happening. And then like a couple hours later, I started to like see things. It's like when you're taking mushrooms, right? You start to like be fucking creative, see all these things in your brain. And I had that same thought, and that's when that really kicked in for me. The moment it truly happened, of like having the ability to understand, okay, wait. I started to consciously feel that I started to see how things clicked together. And I had the ability, because like I'm just very good at action taking, understand how to take action on that immediately, to be able to give myself the clarity that I needed of the things that I've been struggling with, right? Because we're all struggling with things all the time. Like, life is not easy. I'm struggling with things now. You're struggling with things. Everybody is here,
Yeah.
you know. We're at the retreat, and I think like it's impossible for people not to struggle with any. Like you're always struggling. So after that, I just started to like get these thoughts in my brain of realization of how things could click together, and that was what needed to happen, of the effect of the fact that you hypnotized me 4 hours prior to that. And that's the first touch point, right? That's that awareness touch point where you start to realize certain things. And from there on, I started taking action on it. And then, obviously, when you take action on things, it started to create results. But because the first touch point of awareness was there, and you start to see things, it becomes way easier to take action on things. That's very important as well.
Yeah.
So it causes a double effect.
It's so interesting. I think like it's so interesting for me to see how your mind works. I feel like I start to understand how your mind works more now since we've talked more, and I think it's like your superpower, because you're able to break things down so granularly, like every single thought, process it step by step. And I think sometimes that's also an Achilles heel, because you're like processing a lot, but then that's also what gives you the ability to then, when you do take the action, you really can just go all in on it because you've kind of like played the whole chessboard, and then it gives you that certainty.
You know what the main line is that I never forgot? It's the first line. So like
Deathbed.
that line is like, it's like, for me it's like, yeah, whatever, you know, like it doesn't make sense what I do. Let's just try in a dying days.
So why did so for context, like, so something that I'll often do like in a hypnosis is go to the moment when you are on your deathbed. Now, why do we do that? Well, it gives you a different perspective, because think about every problem that you've ever experienced that has felt so big in the moment. When you look back at it from even just now, did it even matter? Are you still here? Are you still okay? Like every single problem that you've ever had. And then so when you look forward 80 years to your deathbed from that perspective, then what's the mechanism that actually happens there? It changes your frame. So then the fear or the emotion that you'd feel now suddenly minimizes. It gives you a different perspective. And I always say, like, fear will always lead to a suboptimal outcome. You'll never be at your best when you operate from fear. I spent so much of my time operating from fear. We were talking about when I ran my agency back there, right? In 2021, when you saw that apartment I was in on that video,
Yes.
I left there and I flew to Greece to escape the lockdown the next year. And then when I got there, all I could have in my mind was this fear of like, I'm going to lose it all. I'm going to lose it all. I'm going to lose it all. And then one night I'm sitting on the rooftop of my Airbnb in Athens. I'm looking at the sunset. And that's the only thing going in my mind, even though externally I literally had someone like beautiful like this, where we are right now. I had everything. But in my mind, all I could think of was that fear. And then the next day, I open up my laptop and I just see cancellation, cancellation, cancellation. I lost half of the business in the next 48 hours. And the funny thing is I actually felt relief in that moment, because that taught me that the fear that you experience internally is actually so much worse than the reality of that thing actually happening.
The pain of regret is like the worst pain to experience.
Because you can't do anything about it at that point,
That's
right? Because
like
you're looking
the
back.
worst thing.
So how does that affect you when you make decisions now? Thinking about that deathbed frame of mind.
It's just becoming aware about the fact that if you have the opportunity to experience pain and allow to feel that pain, knowing you can change it is like the best thing that can ever happen to you, because you have an opportunity to decide if you do want to change it or if you want to keep it the same, right? And that opportunity is the most valuable thing. It's like when you don't have an opportunity and you need to only feel it, but you can change it, that's like the worst. The worst out of the worst. It's just like, in like 80 years, like nobody will remember each other. Everybody will die, right? Like we'll all be dead. Like, whatever matters at that point, you know? For me, it's just like, I know I have a very powerful brain. I know I have the right intentions in life with people. And I know I have the power and the energy to make a big change in this world. I would like do myself like a disservice not taking action on certain things to build a business and make impact, to be here, clients on a retreat, or to help other people with their, you know, with their situations. And I feel like I would limit myself doing that if I would not take any action on the things that I desire to achieve. Does that make sense? That's why I'm like, it's kind of like a fuck it, right? It doesn't matter anymore. And that's a good feeling, because when you do have the right intentions with people, just like I do, just like you do, just like everybody has here, it becomes very easy to make the right moral decisions constantly. And at the same time, it allows you to go non-stop, right? Where people take 2 years to make decisions, it's done within 2 hours.
And it also allows you to not have to operate from fear. And for me, it's like operating from love is the way I look at it. Like, because you really just have those two forces. You have fear and you have love.
Yes.
And when you're able to overcome that fear by in that example you said with that framework, with doing things with the right intentions, then things just happen so much faster. But I think the problem a lot of people have is because they built their business based on a foundation of fear, of suffering, of insecurity, of needing to prove something, which is normal. Everyone starts that way. But then they don't want to let go of that because they think, oh, well, I'll lose my edge. And I think you went through that process, or maybe I'm curious, how far do you feel like you've completed that process? Because I've seen you change a lot. But I'm curious, where's your internal perspective on that?
I feel like I will never complete the process, right? Because you can always grow and always learn new things. So I'll never complete it, but it keeps me moving, and that's like the most important thing. The thing that I always talk about with the team is like, it's not about growing as fast. It's about having the ability to not stagnate. Like, most people don't understand how bad it is to stay in the same spot, right? So even with, for example, with external, internal, sometimes we learn so many things in a month, but we make less revenue than we did prior month. We're still moving forward. It's like when you don't stop learning and stop improving, you have the ability to constantly keep going, because that fulfillment is like true fulfillment, right? It's like same with like a client. It's not how much someone makes. It's like the ability of feeling, okay, do I move forward in my life internally? And that it reflects externally on all the actions that you're taking.
You just said something so interesting, which is like, it's not about how much someone makes. And even before this, we were like, like, do we go into revenue numbers? Like, whatever, like, it's not even that important. But that's a big shift for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Think about it. That's actually massive.
Correct.
What's happened there? Why do you think that's changed so much? Because you make more money now than you did before, but you seem to have less importance on it. And even in our conversations, I've noticed that as well.
Because
even the way you talk to me.
This is the thing, and we said it about the branding thing, it's the exact same thing. It's like the way you internally improve is the way it shows the external results based on like how you brand yourself or the amount of money that you make, but also like how you think about money and how you value money and in what for way you value money. Like, there's so many things to it. And like we talked about this, to give a great example, like the biggest reference is like, your personal brand is a reflection of you, who you are and what you do, right? And you help people with their internal state, right? Like, I don't like to call it hypnosis. Like, I think that's undervalued, right? That's a great marketing angle, but the true reason is helping people with their internal state, for them to get to understand themselves, right? You don't help people. You don't solve problems for people. You help them solve problems internally for them to get to understand themselves, and that way they have the ability to improve themselves, which is fucking amazing. And for example, what I do is like, like when I help people with branding, that's the external variant of it, right? And I think like these things are just so important, because it's just like a reflection of what you do, how you think, and what you value is like what you attract, how you operate, and how you show yourself to people.
It's been so good, bro. Honestly, like, out of everyone I know, you're one of those people who I'm just genuinely like the most happy to see win. Like, and it's just the best feeling to see you winning and you growing, and like I just feel like, yeah, like I feel like you're a brother, like truly a brother, and it's just been such a privilege to see how our relationship has grown over time. And I think that it's when a relationship can stand the test of time, where you're both growing side by side each other, I think that's one of the most special things that's quite rare as well, to like really have that, because people come and go all the time, but
very true.
I think having, and this is where my old man age can come over, like 10 years difference with us, right? Like, these lessons, like anything, even like little things that I share, maybe took me like 10 years to get to that point and realize. But then when you hear something and it resonates with you and it makes sense, use do it, take action on it. I would say integrate it on a personal level as well. You actually do it and then you grow from it. And I think that's why it's so gratifying. It's like when you've helped me with many things, business related. I think part of it is because I'll do it as well, right?
Yeah. And I think this also comes with like the longevity of a relationship and the trust. Because like obviously the longer you know someone and the more you trust someone, like me with my clients or like you with your clients, right? It's like the easier you take things from people and the more natural and aligned it becomes. And because that happens, the change just becomes it's kind of like a hack, right? It becomes too easy because you just take things, it works based on how the relationship is built. And I think that's very valuable as well. Like I always tell people, like I don't have a lot of friends and I don't have a lot of people that I surround myself with, besides my small team, my family, and 2 or 3 good friends, and you're absolutely one of them. And I think that's very important to share as well. That like that trust is super important, And I appreciate everything you did for me. And it's like it's been really, really helpful, and I'm very grateful for that.
It's going back to values. That's one of the biggest things I learned is the value and power of relationships, which is why I would say actually in terms of close friends, I actually also don't have that many, but I've realized the power of investing into relationships. And I look at it like I use the word investing because you are putting something in, and it's not like you're trying to get something back immediately, but like it's going to create more good in some way. I think of it like planting seeds in fertile soil, right? Mm-hmm. So like if this soil behind us is really fertile, if we plant a seed there now, we won't see anything. But if it's in the right seed, in the right soil, it will blossom to something amazing. Mm-hmm. And maybe we don't even know what that is right now. But I think that's the true beauty of life. When we have those relationships and when you do the deathbed test, I think about as well, who would actually come to your funeral?
Yes.
Right? Yes. Who would actually come? And then suddenly everything you think is important, all of these people, all these things, it just shrinks down to something very small and simple and fragile in a way that you need to protect.
Even like when you're sick, like who thinks about you when you're sick, or who asks, or like maybe even like in Dubai with what happened in Dubai. It's like who thinks about that situation, who asks, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
There are super small things where you can see certain things from people, which are very interesting as well.
Exactly. And I think when you can find people like that, relationships, whatever it is, I think it's only something I've learned as I've got more experienced is like the true value of those things are worth more than any amount of money you could ever have. You could have unlimited money in your bank account forever, or give me a few really good relationships like that. I pick the relationships every time, because the money can't buy them.
No, it's valuable because also from an outsider perspective, right? From people that look at maybe my brand or your brand, it's like people get a perception, right? People like it, they hate it, they don't like it, they love it, right? That's for my brand, that's for your brand. And it's like the nice thing is like you only know yourself like worth and your true intentions. And I think good friends also know that, meaning you can always see an underlying reason of the real reality of how things are. And that action is way more valuable and important than the image people have of you, right? Whether that's good or bad, that doesn't matter. Like everybody has their own perspective, but I think that's very valuable as well. It's just like a race that you start without going through a lot of bullshit first to figure shit out, right? It's like very easy, and I think that's very important as well. And that's why I think we both have built our own brand in our own way, and we do it within the way we do it. And I think this has been super, super good. It's just nice, to constantly improve, to constantly like elevate, to constantly like learn new things to build. And we're just both like in that journey constantly. And I think that's the best thing ever.
I've seen you really, your love for the journey. That's something I've really seen in you. Like truly, truly just love to do the thing.
I'm like a nerd.
Yeah.
I can sit down 2 hours talking about positioning.
Yeah.
That's funny, yeah.
And I think like when you have that, it's like you realize when you don't have it because you don't feel the fulfillment, you don't feel the joy, and something's off, or something's out of alignment. And I think when you've gone through those periods in your life and business, and you're like, oh, like something's off, let me try something else. You can tell then, because you have the contrast to know when it's not that. But then when it is that, and you are in alignment, and you are just loving it,
that's how you
appreciate it more.
That's only it. It's like if you don't do. Just the thing, people sometimes ask me the question of like, why am I consistent, right? Same as you right now, at the moment, the way you're consistent with what you're doing, like we both are. It's like, why? And then I'm like, yeah, I just learned to be consistent is such a generic answer, but it's because I'm just passionate about what I do. And that matters most, right? Like, because I'm passionate about what I do constantly, and I genuinely love doing what I do. It's just like an unlimited process. I can never stop doing it. Right, and that's great because sometimes these perspectives, right, these internal perspectives also break through these thoughts and limiting beliefs, which is why you constantly keep going and why you constantly keep seeing the reality of how things should happen. So.
Well said, bro. Any last words? Anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I don't think so.
Easy. That's a wrap.
Do you want me to have you? I can say something for you, like about if that's what you mean.
No, just if you had any thoughts. No, it was just like if there's anything.
Now it's like no, I don't think so. End of the video.
You can add something if you want. I was just it was more just like if we did.
I said it at one point. I think like it's somewhere in the conversation. But if you need something specific, I can do that as well. If you want anything, like I'm genuinely down. I just didn't know what the fuck I needed to say.
No, it was just if you had any. No, it wasn't.
That would have been so retarded.
No,
the conversation was so pure, and then it's like.
No, it wasn't that. It was more just like if there's any other thoughts on your mind that you wanted to share. That was all.
Okay.
Just,
if
you're good, then you're good. Cool. Yeah, that was a genuine question.
Yeah.
I think you were in like marketing angle as you were in like, your head.
I was thinking, okay, wait, should I say like anything I need to share as advice or anything for Ibrahim for his program?
No.
That was this.
No, it's just genuine if you had anything. Because I think it was good. I think that was just, it was more just like there were a lot of good insights in there for people.
Of course.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Of course, bro. Always.
It means a lot.
Of course.
Oh, last question for you, not related to that. Which name do you think is better for the Mastermind? I feel like he's going to say both as shit, but we'll go with it anyway. Quantum Mind or Billionaire Boardroom?
For
a 12-month Mastermind, which has 4 in-person events per year. The second one, Billionaire Boardroom.
I like Boardroom. A billionaire is a bit, but it fits, but I wouldn't. Billionaire Boardroom is a bit. I'm not sure about the word billionaire, but it fits with Boardroom, and I like Boardroom. It sounds like
because I thought Boardroom is a little bit more appealing to our ICP. Because like people, it's gonna be people for this. It is gonna be more people. It will probably be more online business owners for this, and I think it will be more male dominated for this. It will still be some women, but I think it'll be like 80-20. So I feel like the Boardroom bit is a bit more appealing to the.
I just think very simple. I just think like what message makes me think most clear, and what message make me picture what. Quantum Mind, I see like. I picture like Bali, I picture weed, and I pick like some retarded shit. Because Quantum Mind, what the fuck does that even mean? And then Billionaire Boardroom is like boardroom, you have like a boardroom with people. A boardroom with billionaires. So I just see a room with billionaires. And that's the most important thought.
Yeah.
Because I think the easiest thing to pick a name is like, genuinely, this is important. When you say the name, what do you think instantly?
Yeah.
Quantum Mind. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm stupid.
I knew this is why I wanted to ask him though, but this is why I like to ask you, because I know you'll give like genuinely what you think, unfiltered, like, and that's what I actually want.
Quantum Mind. Yeah, it's not. It sounds nice, but it says nothing.
I woke up this morning and I was just like, I was laying there and I was thinking about it and I was like, I feel like it's not really that. But you know,
Billionaire Boardroom is nice.
You do like it?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice because it's like it's clear. It's like, you know, is Billionaire Boardroom related with something in person in a boardroom with billionaires, like with 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs.
And then a $1 billionaire client who will just get
No,
to
but
come to the events.
It's not about that, right? You're not going to say millionaire boardroom.
Yeah, millionaire boardroom sounds.
It's like 5-figure boardroom.
Yeah, D-scale boardroom.
3-figure boardroom.
1K.
People at $700 a month. No, billionaire boardroom is perfect. I like it. I think it's clean.
All right.